Yeah, let's do this with Mixamo now. So go to Mixamo and get our friendly zombie. Actually, it doesn't really matter because I'm not. I want to take the animation from Mixamo and put it on the metagame. I don't care what character it's originally on, right? Sorry, zombie. I knew you were going to say that. Skeleton's a skeleton. The mouse's skeleton is not dramatic. Its head is dramatically different sized. I guess its legs are a little stubby. You should probably want to pick a character that has relative close proportions to what you're putting it on.
Say it's pretty, but
You think so? Let's take a look. It doesn't even show up. It's so tiny, you can't even see it. Oh, Mixamo does this sometimes. Let's refresh. This cutie? I don't know, man. Let's just stick with a naked mannequin guy. Let's put some animation on it. What sort of animation should we try this with? Pick something. Say something.
the camera, the one up there. Yeah.
This one? All right. All right, download. I need to do this with the skin, at least the first time, because again, you can't import animations raw straight into Unreal. It needs to have a mesh attached to it. So if we were bringing in more animations after this, I wouldn't have to do the skin, but in this case, since this is the first one, I do need it. Download. Move this into my folder. All right, let's bring it into Unreal. We'll see if we run into any problems using a Mixamo character. All right, Mixamo. I'm going to go through this really fast and then go back and break it down because I think it's going to be a problem. Import. We don't have a skeleton yet. We want the materials so we can see our naked mannequin. Okay. Whoops, looks like I missed a checkbox. Oh yeah. Import skeletal mesh. Import animations. I just forgot to check the checkbox for animations. Whoa, what's up with this? Whoa. I don't know why that happened. That's strange. It's like spider creature. All right, let's try that again. That's unexpectedly bad. We didn't do anything different. Oh. We crashed Unreal. Awesome. Let's try it again. Not the computer yet, though. Let's go back and start this project again. Should have did the mouse. sure. All right, content browser, Mixamo, import. Vocab class. No skeleton, skeletal mesh, yes. Animations, yes. Materials, textures, yes. Import. What is the deal? What is going on? It's strange. It's like this. Oh, I see. The skeleton's rotated off the body. That's not right. I think I changed an animation setting on the import options earlier this morning. And for some reason, it didn't change it back. Oh, yep. See that offset rotation right there? I think that's what's screwing things up. I just go back to my defaults. Skeletal mesh, animations, materials, textures, yes. Ooh. Disaster averted. All right, so we have the character. We want to take this animation and apply it to her. Actually, I was in this map, I think. This map. I want to take it and apply it to the metahuman here. So we need that IK-rig file. We already have that for the metahuman. It's built in, but I don't have that for the Mixamo character, so we need to manually create one. So if I right-click on the skeletal mesh and go up to create IK-rig, nothing happens for some reason. Let's try it again. Create IK-rig. Oh, it did create it. Never mind. It creates the file right here, IK-rig. Remember, this is the, think of it like the definition file. This file says which joints are which. So let's, oops. Normally, this is a case where we used to have to do this. You used to have to do this one at a time. Create a new chain, say the hips are the hips, shoulders the shoulder, the legs the leg. Now they have these auto create buttons up top, which work pretty well. So we could try to click auto create retarget change and then auto create IK. Let's click it. And this is the stuff which we used to have to manually create. All this stuff. You don't have to do that anymore. Most of the time. Sometimes there's errors that we need to create or fix, but we'll play that by ear. So I clicked the first one, auto create retarget chains. That's what this stuff is in the bottom. All of these. Let's auto create IK. All right, looks like that got created too. So now I should be able to grab onto the character and yank them around, which I can. That looks fine. Now we need to create that retargeter file again. So right click, animation, retargeting, IK retargeter. Remember we created this for the motive avatar and the metahuman. This time we're taking a Mixamo animation and putting on a metahuman, so it's a different retargeter. I call this retargeter Mixamo to meta. Open this up. Remember, we need to set the source and the target. The target is the MHIK rig. Remember, this was the wrong body last time. I think this was called MetaHuman character body. Yeah, this one. And then we need to set the source, which in this case is this one, which we just made. Whoa. Some stuff is right, but some stuff seems wrong. Probably should have exported it in a T-pose first. But let's try it anyways. Source. Again, I should have probably did a T-pose because this pose sucks to characterize to. So let's try to put it in a T-pose. Source. Default pose is not working. Let's go to create. Let's see if this puts it in a T-pose. Puts that one in an A pose. Let's do the target. Create pose. Well, it might not matter, to be honest. You should do T-pose just because it's really hard to make sure. It's really hard to align these when they're in such a organic pose like this. But to be honest, this doesn't look that bad. It's a little offset, but it's not that bad. But let's see it with the animation. Good enough, I guess. Let's export the selected animations just like we did for the other time. Export. Where do we want to export this to? XML folder. Export. Save. Exit. Yep. Now we have an animation file just of the MetaHuman body dancing. Now we go to sequencer again. Sequencer, add level sequence, drag in the MetaHuman. I go to body, add the animation. What was this called? So there it is. Remember, we got to get rid of the control rig, otherwise it's going to not play the animation. The head is really down for some reason. I don't think that was the case in the actual animation. No, it's kind of up. That's something that you could adjust in the control rig, or yeah, it's something we could adjust in the control rig. Or also, it might be that let's take a look. It's like the neck and there's so many neck joints in, we never even looked at that, but if I open up the skeleton for the MetaHuman, there's so many more joints. Look at all this stuff. Clavicle L, left clavicle out, left clavicle scap. I don't even know what this stuff is. There's 5 spine joints. We don't even use any of that. There seems to be something strange with the neck, though. I think this is a thing that happens with metahumans, is that the head joint up here is at the top of the head. So I wonder if I opened up, oops. If I open up this and I say that if I delete the neck and then I say the head is the neck to the head, let's see how that looks. I save that. Might not do anything. Freestyle it a little bit here. Now that didn't really seem to fix anything on her. Well, we lowered her down a little bit, and then the control rig just raised her head up a little bit, and then it'd be all right. So what have we done so far? We've taken animation from Motive and put it on MetaHuman, and then we took animation from Mixamo and put it on MetaHuman. Retargeting is all about taking animation from one thing and putting it on another. And the retargeting process translates the naming of the joints that might be different, the placement of the joints that might be different because your character might be 7 feet tall and really strong, but when you recorded motion capture in the ballrooms, you're just, 5'6" and 110 pounds, or who knows. That's the retargeting process. You can get animation from anywhere and put it on anything using the retargeting process, whether it's in Unreal or not. It's the same sort of idea. So now we've looked at retargeting in Unreal. It's not as nuanced as doing it in Motion Builder. You have a lot more fine-tuned control in Motion Builder, but the benefit is that you get to see it here, which honestly might be better. Like in your case, with the granny going through the walls, it's hard to, sorry, I'm gonna keep going back to that forever. It was so lovely. I feel bad for grandma, but it was lovely. It's kind of hard to fix those problems when you can't see where the walls are. Right? And you could import, we talked about this last class, you could import the walls into Motion Builder and animate that way, and then export the character into Unreal, and as long as everything lines up, it should be good. But it'd be much better to just see everything all in one place, right? With the nice lighting and everything else looking good, that sort of thing. So there are benefits to this stuff. And also, if you were doing work that was live and not just a recorded video, you kind of have to do it in Unreal. A lot to think about. So more tips, more strategies that will only benefit you going into your final project. A lot of new stuff, but most of that new stuff is just rehashed things that we've talked about over the last 8 weeks. Questions? Well, there is a video uploaded. Let's take a break.